As a traveler, Sumo opened a restaurant and only wanted to live a life of eating and waiting for death. Until one day, late at night, Sumo felt that something was amiss in the world after being knocked unconscious by a shovel following a messy girl. My neighbor's sister's name is Jian and she works at the police station. A white lady emerged from the courier's doorstep, and she also told herself that the Holy Grail War was going to take place in the summer. Hired a shop assistant named Wang Shower, who goes out all day mysteriously to fish. The clear and foolish college student who came to eat called himself Zhang Chulan and heard that he was going to attend the Luo Tian festival. It wasn't until Sumo saw the giant gorge take off that he realized the big picture was coming. Fortunately, Golden Finger arrived in time. Fantasy World Planting System. Collect the power of fantasy existence, sow out one fantasy world after another, and you can transform into a fantasy character in it, thereby obtaining character skills and enhancing your strength. Zombie Taoist World, I am the Thunderbolt Dharma King, rubbing my hands to avoid all evil spirits in the sky. In the world of White Snake, I have a majestic dragon tattoo on my body, and King Kong is glaring with anger. In the world of Fox Demons, Sumo holds the Dinghai stick and is as high as the sky. Keywords of the novel. Starting from under one person to sow the world without pop-ups, starting from under one person to sow the world. Download the complete set of TXT, and starting from under one person to sow the latest chapters of the world. Chapter 1. Welcome Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Welcome Collection. The author is working hard to save the manuscript, and the babies they like will be collected and brought home first. We look forward to the future together. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. The world is wrong. Seeking data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. The world is wrong. Seeking data. Our reporter reported that the domestically produced aircraft carrier Jian will undergo a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the end of this month. According to General Du, the captain of Jian is designed to respond to potential threats in outer space such as asteroids. On the 28th of next month, the Luo Tian festival will be held at Longhu Mountain. Tourists can all go to visit in order. The following is the scene of our reporter on Longhu Mountain. On the news camera, an old Taoist made a wide gesture in front of the camera. The following is international news. Our reporter reported that a gas explosion occurred in Dongmu City, 11th district. This is the third gas explosion incident in Dongmu City. Sumo. Even if one feels that traveling through this matter is already outrageous, it is only after carefully reading the news that they realize that the degree of absurdity in this world is still beyond their imagination. The Giant Gorge. Luo Tian de Jiao. Is that Heavenly Master's gesture more serious than wise? Did the gas explosion in Dongmu City in the 11th district happen 10 years ago? Is it truly the only race in the world that has sunbathed at 6,000 degrees? The power of gas explosions can be compared to strategic missiles. Oh, I can't tell. I really enjoy reading news. It's also good to read more news and receive ideological education. Don't worry about going out and causing trouble every day. The girl was wearing police uniform and her long legs were very eye-catching. Miss Jian, you're joking. Looking at the young girl Sumo in front of her, she couldn't help but laugh. The girl's name is Jian, and she is also very good looking. She can be considered a childhood sweetheart to herself. But since childhood, I have been a violent maniac, and later I even got admitted to a police academy. It is said that my marksmanship is also accurate. 20 years ago, when I first crossed over, I didn't think much at all. After all, everyone was still young and their appearance was far from the Jian I remember. More than 20 years have passed, and I have almost forgotten the appearance of my acquaintances in my past life, let alone the characters in an anime. At most, it feels a bit familiar. Just after watching the news, memories of past lives are wildly emerging in the mind. This is so special, it's really like seeing a ghost. Is that why you run to the cemetery in the middle of the night and dig up everyone's bodies? Jian looked at Su Mo with a cold smile. This is really not me. I just saw a messy woman carrying a shovel, and I followed her over. I just forgot and told you why. Su Mo shrugged. God knows how I came across this. At that time, I was just curious, pure curiosity. A little girl, carrying a shovel in the middle of the night. As a good person, it's normal for a little girl to plan on becoming a flower protector late at night, isn't it? It may be slightly abnormal. But at that time, I was purely curious. Alright, let me supervise you well before uncle and auntie leave, and by the way. Speaking of which, Jian paused. Let me ask if you have talked about girlfriends. I don't know if it's an illusion, but after hearing this, Su Mo always felt that Jian's tone had become somewhat abnormal compared to usual. Where did you get your girlfriend? Su Mo pouted. Girlfriend. If it were before, I would definitely have carefully considered this issue, but after roughly understanding the situation in this world, I wouldn't dare to think about it. The Luo Tian festival and the old celestial teacher who just appeared in the news let themselves know that the world is actually not that simple, and there is still a group of non-human beings like outsiders. Although strangers do not affect the lives of ordinary people, who knows if they will have the misfortune to encounter them. How about going to Bo village? Calculating the time, Mr. Ma's stove should have already been built, and he will run away just to get some benefits. Immediately, Su Mo shook his head. If it were just a different world, I could really do it myself. But Nima, is the giant gorge taking off? Is this not an event at the super seminary? This proves that in the near future, civilizations such as angels, demons, gluttony, scorching sun, and Styx will gather all over the blue star. Strangers are very strong. For ordinary people, it may be strong, but when faced with these divine beings. What 8 extraordinary skills and heavenly teacher degrees are all younger brothers. If a star destroyer comes down, it will be a mess. Even, this is not the most important thing, the most important thing is Dongmu City. Gas explosion. Your gas explosion can create a feeling of missile washing the floor. Holy Grail. A term comes to mind that the Sodot called Holy Grail battlefield is a war in which a group of Western magicians summon legendary heroes to fight and compete for the almighty wishing machine Holy Grail. Generally speaking, the battlefield is limited to Dongmu City. But, who knows if it will affect this side? Taking a 10,000 steps back, even if it affects this side, there are those extraordinary experts who have solved it. But the worldview of the Holy Grail goes far beyond that. When I didn't have the opportunity to interact with this world before, all kinds of wives were shouting. Wumu monster, Daimao king, Haiheisen, but when it really comes to this world, all it has is horror. The worldview of the Holy Grail may not be the same as that of the entire type moon. In case, what if Chaldea also existed? Let's not talk about the scum of the demon god pillar. The demon god king always wants to burn human logic and destroy the entire human history, while the neighboring alien gods are watching closely many disasters and difficulties. This is Su Mo's feeling at this moment. After all, this is still a situation known to oneself. Heaven knows how many monsters behind the blue star are trying to cause trouble. Su Mo suspected that even if Holy Kaisha came, she might not be able to hold the place. Girlfriend. Find a girlfriend and watch the apocalyptic fireworks together. What kind of girl do you like? Don't misunderstand, that's also what Auntie asked me to ask. Jian lowered her head and swayed back and forth on tiptoe, as if counting the number of ants on the ground. What kind of girls do you like? Su Mo instinctively began to think, even ignoring the fact that his father and mother had been missing for 5 years. Speaking of which, I have never considered this issue before. Various characters with different appearances are fleeting in one's mind. A blonde ultra-short skirt, preferably an angel. Pooh, you're still looking for an angel. Jian spat lightly. Subconsciously glancing at my short black hair, would dyeing it golden really look good? It wasn't until Jian left that Sumo turned around and opened the drawer. There a big red invitation card was placed there, but looking at it again made me feel a bit creepy. Marriage letter. When did Nima appear here? The key issue is not the color of this marriage book. The dark red wedding letter, like the color of dried blood, makes people feel a little creepy just staring at it. Whose normal family uses this marriage certificate? Especially after realizing that the world is a bit different. At this moment, Sumo had a chilling feeling. Ding, a special scent has been detected. Can it be used as a seed to start planting in the fantasy world? Sumo's expression froze. Hello System Dad, you have finally arrived. Meanwhile, beyond the planet. Interestingly, I didn't expect anyone on this planet to remember us angels. P.S. Find data. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Planting Fantasy World, Am I Sure Jian? Seeking Data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Planting Fantasy World, Am I Sure Jian? Seeking Data, at this moment, beyond the blue star. Endless radiation and harmful substances make normal humans survive here for less than a second. But at this moment, there is a slender figure between the blue planet and the vast sun. The blonde short skirt, paired with iconic white wings, tells the story of a young girl's identity. Interestingly, it seems that people on this planet still remember us angels, but it's not easy to marry angels. The angel girl looked down at the blue planet below with a smile on her face. Being liked by others is not considered blasphemy. On the contrary, in the eyes of angels, being liked by others is actually due to their own charm and recognition of justice and order. Such an interesting human, send it to Yen and the others to take a look together. Cough, as a noble angel, it is impossible for someone who enjoys gossiping with friends. Angels are holy and noble. Cough, I just want to chat with sisters on Angels exclusive network to get in touch with them. That's right, that's it. Unfortunately, this interesting human seems to be in trouble. The angel frowned after him. In his own perception, there were at least 3 breaths around Sumo's house. A breath was a bit erratic, as if it were a dead person. The other is the pure human figure, but from an angel's perspective, that aura is not really liked. It seems to be called totality here on Blue Star. It seems to have come towards the figure with a deadly aura. The figure with the last breath was a girl holding a shovel. What a disaster. The angel couldn't help roast. Even though Sumo was at most an ordinary person in his own perception, how could he provoke so many people? You should know that among these 3 people, especially the girl with a shovel, her genetic strength is no weaker than some second-generation gods. I wanted to help, but the angel stubbornly restrained this impulse. Blue stars have not been included in the order of justice by angels, and angels only play the role of observers at most. I hope he has better luck. Right, after all, this is still the first person on this planet to dare to say they want to marry an angel. Meanwhile, Sumo was very excited. Mother Earth will not abandon any long-distance travelers. Love you without any hesitation, Sumo immediately agreed. If it were just an ordinary world, if such a scene suddenly appeared in his mind, Sumo felt that he might have to think about it. But now that the world is like this, Sumo pondered that even if any big shot came up with something to mess with him, he would still be indifferent. Anyway, is this damn world already like this? Whatever happens to him in the future? Planting. As Sumo spoke, he suddenly felt a change in the scenery in front of him. In the originally empty room, a strange aura that ordinary people cannot see suddenly shrank into a seed-like existence. The seeds are covered with unique patterns. Mysterious, complex. Vaguely, it seemed to be filled with endless temptations, and in an instant, Sumo felt his consciousness constantly sinking, as if his entire being was absorbed by this mysterious seed. At the next moment, Sumo suddenly opened his eyes. A tattered small bowl, tattered clothes living with countless lice, and a broken wooden stick in hand. "Master, please do me a favor." As I watched a Taoist walking by, my body couldn't help but move. Begging. Did you actually become a little beggar? You're quite interesting, little beggar. I didn't expect your first business as a Taoist today to be yours. Unfortunately, you're here to beg for food. There are dates and peaches here. Take everything you want. Sumo just looked at the other person and had a slight control over the little beggar's body, suppressing his instinctive desire to take the fruit from the Taoist stall. At the same time, I have a similar understanding of my current environment. This is probably the world within that seed, and I seem to have been forcibly replaced by one of the characters. Others are not very clear, but Sumo knows one thing. If I don't do something now, according to the physical fitness of the little beggar, I'm afraid he may not be able to get through at night. Master Dao, I swore in front of the statue of my ancestor that I can fulfill his first business wish today. What do you want? Tell me all. The Taoist looked at the young beggar but didn't care much in his heart. Just a little beggar, how much knowledge can one have? It's nothing more than a meal, a sum of money. I want to worship you as my teacher. At the next moment, the Taoist suddenly widened his eyes and looked at Sumo as if seeing a ghost, with each finger of his right hand twitching rapidly. Mom, Taoist, who did I provoke today? I actually want to take you to the entrance wall. Bah, you're also a person with a rebellious mind. The old Taoist cursed profusely, but in the end, he still accepted Sumo. It seems that the ancestor he mentioned has great prestige, which makes him dare not violate it. Sumo also knows the identity of the old Taoist, he came from the outer mountain. I don't do anything else every day, just some wild peaches and mountain dates are placed at the entrance of this county town. That jujube can sour people's teeth, and peaches are also astringent. The monkeys in the mountains all dislike it, let alone humans. It's normal that you can't sell it. Even if you're not starving to death, you wouldn't come to this old Taoist to ask for a stutter. Until noon, there were no customers. The old Taoist took out all his belongings and took Sumo to the largest restaurant. Look at your remarkable achievements. Eating a meal and wearing a new outfit makes you so excited. Although the old Taoist was cursing, he was extremely kind to Sumo. He ate pork belly and dressed decently. Master, what will we do if we spend money like this in the future? We can't do without what you eat. The more we spend now, the more we can make later. Sumo couldn't understand, and probably the person Sumo hated the most in his life was this kind of riddle person. But you don't need to know anything yourself, anyway. No matter what, my master will arrange everything for you clearly. Since you have entered my gate wall, you should practice this technique first. By the way, what is your name, little ghost, dog eggs? I'm not afraid of losing the face of the sect even if I say a bad name. Anyway, from now on, you can follow my surname. Sumo was taken aback and said, Follow master, your surname. The old Taoist nodded and said, My common surname is Shi, so you follow my surname Shi. You were born into a humble family, and you will inevitably encounter many troubles in the future. If you need to be strong, call yourself Shi Jian. Remember, you are the eldest senior brother of your generation in Maoshan, and you must not insult your sect. So, Sumo had a serious name for the first time in this unfamiliar world. Shi Jian. Immediately, he instinctively glanced at the secret script in his hand. Thunderbolt fist. The great law of wooden stakes. P.S. Find data. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Fierce, my mother surprisingly saw someone rubbing thunder with their hands. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Fierce, did I see someone rubbing thunder with their hands? Seeking data, like a big dream, Sumo slowly opened his eyes. In a familiar environment, the night outside the store gradually darkened, and the neatly arranged tables and chairs inside the store also accumulated some dust. Coming back. This is a self-owned restaurant that was originally planned to open a few days ago, but due to the girl with a shovel, I was forced to shut down for a few more days. Is this the fantasy world I just planted? The first thing that caught Xiong's eye was an imaginary sapling about 3 feet high that only she could see, surrounded by inexplicable forces constantly rushing towards it. That is the purest power of imagination. Su Mo could even feel that as these powers of fantasy flooded into the sapling, it was constantly becoming solidified. If we wait until this sapling finally turns into reality, we can fully grasp this fantasy world, and even say that it is a new world. However, Su Mo was not in the mood to care about these things at the moment, but was pleasantly surprised to feel the changes in his body. At that moment, my consciousness was sucked into a fantasy world, and I was in a daze. After all, things came too suddenly. Who wouldn't be confused if they suddenly encountered such a thing? This feeling is like traveling to the 11th district, learning a foreign language all night and suddenly being broken in by someone stupid, okay. However, the benefits gained this time are clearly quite significant, with years of experience in practicing lightning thunder fist and woodpile technique flooding my mind. Extraordinary power. If this world was just an ordinary one, Su Mo felt that he believed in science at this time. The birds in the sky can become dragons, and the duck necks in schools can also be made into mouse heads. Everything has scientific principles to rely on. But ever since I found out that all kinds of monsters and aliens exist in this world, my biggest dream is to achieve extraordinary things. Even if it is impossible to change the future changes, at least it can, when making yourself fall off, be able to put on a handsome posture. That would appear somewhat imposing. Also, it's Sister Qilin. Not long after, gluttony invaded the masses and danced wildly. At that time, Sister Ho Qilin was shot through her heart. Although in the end, not only was it okay, but it also activated the super gene of the supernatural sniper, which can be considered a blessing in disguise. But this is the real world, not any anime world. Who knows if Sister Qilin will continue to develop according to her original trajectory after being shot through her heart. Carefully feel the changes in the body at this moment, as the flow of magic within the body is constantly absorbing some magical power from heaven and earth to enhance oneself. This is practicing Qi. Su Mo carefully felt the memories and gains in his mind, first of all, the wooden stake method. This cultivation method cultivates the power of wood spirit. Whenever there is wood around me, I can instantly summon some wooden stakes. Wooden stakes are controlled by oneself. Can attack enemies or instantly change terrain. Invisible and invincible, attacks are unbeatable and cannot be defended. Besides that, there is the lightning thunder fist, which is my biggest gain this time. This is not the inheritance method of Mao Shan, but obtained by a certain ancestor outside. Due to its immense power but extremely difficult cultivation, it has been shelved. Lightning thunder fist is not a traditional Taoist technique, but belongs to the combination of law and martial arts, using martial arts to enter the Tao. It needs to absorb the power of lightning from heaven and earth into the body, and then use the matching boxing techniques to gradually move the absorbed lightning power through the body's meridians, allowing the body to adapt to the power of lightning. After the body has hardened and adapted to the power of lightning, the next step is to try exposing the power of lightning. According to the stage in which the body adapts to the power of lightning, it can be divided into 5 layers. The first layer is initially exposed to the power of thunder and lightning, and its internal magic has the power of thunder and lightning, greatly increasing its killing power against demons and monsters. Its punch and kick power is comparable to ordinary thunder symbols. Reaching the second level, the magic within the body has initially merged with the power of thunder and lightning. With a wave of your hand, you can summon thunder with astonishing power. On the third layer, the thunder transforms into spiritual thunder, containing strands of heavenly power. At this stage, the lightning technique is completely completed, even compared to the 5 thunder methods of Dragon and Tiger Mountain. On the fourth layer, the thunder inside the body turns purple, which can now be called sky thunder. As for the fifth layer, it belongs purely to inference in one's own memory, and it is said to be able to incarnate thunder. Even the creator of this skill does not know how it is. Mad, I wonder if you have listed a fifth level. Su Mafu's forehead. Pit by pit. I also said that if you practice the basic chi cultivation method to level 99, you can become an immortal. However, the description of the Thunderbolt fist reminded Su Mo of a person with the same name and surname as himself in the fantasy world. Also known as Jian, he also practiced the wooden pile technique. But he is a big villain. He was able to rub his hands against thunder, and even the protagonist of that world was not his nemesis. However, Su Mo did not realize that his fantasy world would have any connection with that Jian. Although senior brother is strong, his strength is at most the second level of lightning thunder fist. Even so, being able to rub the sky thunder with one's hands can be considered the ceiling of a Taoist on earth. Su Mo pouted. The self in the fantasy world is undoubtedly a spiritual genius. In less than 3 years of cultivation, the wooden stake technique has been perfected, and the lightning thunder fist has also reached the second level. If the self in the fantasy world is the senior brother, when Lin Jiao starts fighting, at least the third or even fourth layer of lightning thunder fist will be needed. At that time, let alone Lin Jiao, even if the Grandmaster comes down, he will have to knock himself twice. After all, it seems that Grandmaster is also a ghost. Isn't it all beings under the thunder cough and cough? I can't be proud of being a person like this. Reality is not the world of zombie Taoist priests, let alone the second layer of lightning thunder fist. Even if it is the fourth layer, what can it do? Thunder. Is that thing capable of withstanding a star destroyer gun? As the third generation god, Angelico, known as the god of thunder and war, is no longer a human, summoning endless heavenly thunder with a wave of his hand. After all, the amount of mana that one's physical body can hold is not on the same level as those 3 generations of divine bodies. Even if it surpasses the thunder of Angelico in terms of quality, they just pile themselves up with orders of magnitude. In other words, if an angel falls in love with a normal person, it relies on the physical strength of the angel. Can ordinary people break through defenses? Su Mo quickly threw these serious thoughts out of his mind. The power of angels themselves is also good, but they cannot withstand the assistance of celestial computers. Celestial computer. If that thing were to fully unleash its firepower in the solar system, it could instantly drain all the energy from the sun in the Chiwu star system. Well, Blue Star can completely become a wandering little brat. It's impossible to say that you'll still encounter a certain Trisolaran's fleet heading towards the solar system on the way. To get to the point, the energy required for this computing power can cover a stellar system, and its power is truly beyond human comparison. Su Mo raised his hand. The wooden stake method has too much destructive power on the surrounding area, and I don't want this restaurant to become a ruin before it opens. However, lightning and thunder fist can be tested. Pop 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 pop, the pale blue thunder kept jumping at the fingertips, carrying a terrifying aura of destruction. Jiya, at this moment, the door that had been locked was quietly pushed open, and the entire room instantly became unusually cold. There was a dark red sedan chair standing at the door. On both sides of the sedan chair were a group of paper figures with powder blusher on them. The sound of the Swona during the wedding can be faintly heard in the air. Happy yet full of gloom. The curtain of the sedan door was gently lifted, and the sound of the Swona suddenly fell silent. At some point, the light became somewhat gloomy, and the green color set off against the dark red flower wedding, making the viewer feel a bit scared. Official, the auspicious time has arrived. At the next moment, the sound suddenly stopped, and the motion of lifting the curtain froze in an instant. Sigma, it's so fierce, I actually saw someone rubbing their hands against the sky thunder. P.S. Find data, end of this chapter. Chapter 5 Su Mo Deep Well Ice Bar. Seeking recommended tickets and monthly tickets. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 5 Su Mo Deep Well Ice Bar. Seeking recommended tickets and monthly tickets, on the street, inside the CAFA, dim yellow lights accompanied by elegant music flow, making people unable to help but immerse themselves in it. By the window, a girl dressed in grubby clothes is staring at the restaurant, and the shovel is casually placed beside the table, which seems out of place with the atmosphere of the coffee shop. Bauer, what we're saying is it possible? Let's put this guy's matter aside first. The way others look at us is not right. Gulu gulu, baby, the waiters have been here 4 or 5 times, and we'll have to call the police later. There's a unlucky child waiting for us to go to the police station to catch him. Don't let's go in ourselves. Gulu gulu, Bauer, what are you drinking? Give me some. Sue Sanner covered her head and felt a headache. Oh, Susie said, this is a drink, it tastes great. The girl let go of the straw, took away the bottle, and it wasn't until then that Sue San could see clearly what the drink was. Red Star Ergua 2, is this a drink? Susie said, what you drink with a straw is a beverage. What did Susie, this bastard, teach you? Sue Sanner was a little crazy. You drink Red Star Ergota with a straw at home. Let's go. The next moment when the girl picked up the shovel, she seemed to think of something and sat down again. Sue Sanner felt uncomfortable when she saw the strange eyes around her. Let's just say, a few days ago you just didn't delete his memory, don't you need this guy? Sue San stared at the shovel and his eyelids twitched. Sue C said, diners should not be thrown away. Use it to tap your brain. It's very comfortable, and I save a lot of points. I went back to study the land, and his brain is thicker than that of ordinary people. Last time, I only succeeded. Sue San, you know a damn sense of propriety. The alien world is another world independent of the ordinary world, and it is a special organization for countries to manage the alien world. If ordinary people come into contact with the existence of strangers on a regular basis, they will generally be asked by members of Anywhere Past to find specialized personnel to clean their memory. But Bauer is different, and I don't know which turtle grandson taught Bauer a special memory clearing method, which has made Bauer a bit confused now. What's going on? Seeing Foam Bao Bao sit down again, Sue San frowned and couldn't help but say. The most talked about thing by Bao these days is that he missed the night and didn't erase the memory of that young man named Su Mo. Now should be a great opportunity. There's some movement. Foam Bao Bao took the drink and started drinking again. A whole bottle of Red Star Ergotu, descending at a visible speed to the naked eye, instantly bottomed out. Su San's eyes twitched as he watched this scene. That's wine. 56 degrees. Ghostly aura. Su San stood up immediately, with a rare expression of solemnity on his face. The little ghost is followed by people. Foam Bao Bao's voice is also rare and has become more serious without the unique trump. Su San frowned. Excuse me. I just wanted to erase Sumo's memory of that night, it was a simple matter. Unexpectedly, now it involves ghosts and monsters, as well as some strange people. That ghost's aura is not simple, even I may not be able to deal with it. Let's get closer. Su San spoke up. I didn't intend to startle the snake, but the ghost's aura was somewhat astonishing. Although you can sit here and watch to see which group of people are preparing to cause trouble, it will ultimately be a loss of life. There is no need to use this life to test and uncover the mastermind behind the scenes. Here we go. What's here? Su San looked at Foam Bao Bao and asked, somewhat puzzled. The next moment, before Foam Bao Bao could answer, Su Si already knew what had happened. At the door, several shop assistants and law enforcement officers in uniforms pointed at him. Su San's face turned black instantly. Mud Horse, it has been reported to the police. Meanwhile, where Su Mo is located. The light turned cyan purple at some point, flickering incessantly like an unstable voltage. Silent night, empty and empty, coupled with the eerie Suona sound that had just stopped, it still seemed to echo in the surrounding air at this moment. Not to mention, a red and slightly blackened sedan chair stopped in the restaurant at some point. And paper figures with powder blusher around them. It should have been a very scary scene. It is indeed quite scary, but at this moment the atmosphere has become somewhat peculiar. Suemo blinked as he watched the ghost bride. It has to be said that the figure is quite good. Protruding and backward, although one's identity is a ghost, many people will mind. But Suemo seems that this is completely a bonus point. It's just that my taste is a bit lacking, it's a bit too underworld. But by the way, shouldn't the ghost wedding be picked up separately by the groom and bride? How many years have you been single, and the bride came over directly to pick up the groom? Suemo was looking at the ghost bride, and the ghost bride was also looking at Suemo. At this moment, the four eyes are facing each other, and the atmosphere is somewhat awkward for a moment. The ghost bride swallowed back the words she had originally intended to say. Oh my, I woke up early and saw someone rubbing their hands against the sky thunder. I just wanted to come and greet you today. I have done this kind of thing myself not 10 times, but 7 or 8 times. In the past, I used to have paper people lift sedan chairs to welcome the wedding, which was more in line with the process. However, with the development of the times, there are too many practitioners nowadays. It is easy to encounter some meddlesome strangers on the way of paper figures carrying sedan chairs. Fortunately, I took the initiative to quickly complete the process. This is my first time doing this, but now, what did you see yourself? The curtain that was originally raised was slowly lowered. Suemo was taken aback. Is this any new attack method? After all, in the real world, real ghosts should be completely different from ghosts in the fantasy world. However, since I was born in this world, I naturally need to see many things as well. Expand your knowledge, and even if you encounter some strange things in the future, you will have experience in handling them. The surrounding paper figures lifted the sedan chair again, flickering with non-mainstream lights and returning to normal. Suemo, hello, hello. Just now, although the lights were a bit gloomy, they at least added to the atmosphere. Now, the atmosphere is completely gone, okay. You can't even bear to play the Suona. What is getting married without playing the Suona? At this moment, under normal lighting, the huge flower sedan, along with the paper figures and even the flower sedan, not only lacks any sense of terror, but also adds a touch of joy. It's like watching a group of Kos. Although there is a slight increase in the underworld, it is inexplicably a desire to laugh. Shio shio shio, in the next moment, several paper figures carried the sedan chair and tiptoed back several times faster than before, without any movement on the way. Dong, lightly floating, the originally wide-open door closes again as if the video is flipped backwards. The sound of the door closing was probably the only sound made since the appearance of the ghost bride just now. Suemo, what? Wait, isn't this right? Did you run away? Deep well ice bar. P.S. Find data. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Is not, are you mentally ill? Seeking data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 is not, are you mentally ill? Seeking data. Suemo felt a headache in his head. Just obtained the lightning thunder fist, I want to give it a try. I happen to encounter another ghost. I am indeed in a state of physical exhaustion. Suemo couldn't resist roast. Ji Ming'er suddenly told herself that there was a fire on the Angel's internal network, and that the Angel Three Kings and Angel Yen had formed a group to seek care for him. She was able to calm down and cope with it. Harmful, it's already an old man and wife, and we haven't read the notebook before. So when encountering ghosts and monsters, Suemo wasn't really surprised. In this damn world, it's not strange to encounter anything. Moreover, I have been obtaining lightning thunder fist in the fantasy world for some time now, and I have also encountered some mountain spirits and wild monsters in the process. However, it is still the first time in the real world to encounter such extraordinary monsters, and I naturally want to see how the ghosts in the two worlds are different. And then, did you run away? Did you run away? Are ghosts in the ghost world so unethical now? Sumo is a bit confused. Meanwhile, outside the restaurant. The red flower sedan was suspended in the air, and 4 paper figures tiptoed out with half-bent backs. The moonlight is bright, the lights are red and the wine is green. Occasionally, a few pedestrians pass by, but they just instinctively shiver and feel that the temperature here is lower than other places, but they can't see anything. The ghost bride took a deep breath, and the cold air instantly turned into layers of smoke. Zizizi, the streetlights on both sides of the street seemed to be affected by the cold and made intermittent sounds. The ghost bride quickly covered her half-vomited cold with her small hand, and her head, wearing a hood, quickly looked around. It wasn't until the streetlights returned to normal that the ghost bride slowly released her palm, afraid of attracting the attention of the person inside the restaurant. Can you not be afraid? I'm just a little ghost, at most I'll live a little longer. Harming others is one's own instinct and also a way for oneself to become stronger. In the past century, I don't know how many underworld marriages I have had. Once successful. Some were also saved midway by some meddlesome Taoist priests. But this time today, I really raised my posture. Rubbing thunder with your hands, are you human? This instantly reminds the ghost bride of a former otaku who was extremely compatible with her underworld marriage. That was the first person to cooperate with him so well. When he first arrived, he turned off his computer and not only wasn't afraid but also rushed forward with a loud cry. This even made me doubt for a moment whether the brain circuits of these otaku were normal. The scariest thing is that after the guy died, he should have turned into the ghost groom next to him and been sent by him. At that time, because I was a bit curious, I wanted to check what secrets were on his computer. And then the resentment of the otaku exploded instantly. Although he was successfully killed by himself, the secret in the computer was still known by himself. Wudong God. It's probably a pure love story where Wudong Shen transforms into a young scholar, and then engages with 3 female ghosts. After extracting the essence of the female ghosts, he instantly turns his face. In the eyes of the ghost bride, Sumo should be such a monster. Especially at that time, the look that the other person was looking forward to was clearly waiting for them to take action, and then it was easy to open up and kill themselves. Hatue, if the old lady is guilty. Please have a Taoist come down from above to take me away. Instead of letting the old lady encounter such a monster on a happy day. Dong, the sedan chair carried by the paper man suddenly breaks, and the ghost bride suddenly leans forward. The ghost bride frowned. Hee, I didn't expect to encounter a century-old fierce ghost just after joining Chuanqing. Ghost bride, oh no, I'm just casually saying, are you really playing? Buzz, the invisible binding force strikes, instantly suppressing the yin energy around the ghost bride's body, and her own body seems to be under the control of the other party. Silence. Have you ever had your mouth exposed? The bad news is that I have just emerged from a tiger's den and entered a wolf's den, and have been caught. The good news is whether you are caught by an evil cultivator or a sect like Chuanqing, which, although involuntarily, can at least save your life. Be fortunate in misfortune. Oh, surprisingly, there's still one chosen ghost marriage partner who hasn't ended yet. The person who came was dressed in a Taoist robe, with an inverted crown on his head, about 40 or 50 years old. He looks like a dog with a decent demeanor, but his appearance is a bit different. The ghost bride pouted. If there is a choice, I hope the one who enslaves me is a handsome guy, such as the guy who just rubbed his hand with lightning. It seems like being electrified or something. Subconsciously, the ghost bride's legs are together. Of course, this kind of thing is actually just thinking about it. That kind of cultivator who cultivates thunder techniques, at first glance, is someone whose eyes cannot tolerate sand. If they go there, they are likely to disappear directly. I'm not afraid, I'll take you to solve such a mysterious marriage. The old Taoist smiled and said, his expression full of vigor and vitality. If one could receive such great assistance before joining Chuanqing, then one's position in Chuanqing would inevitably be greatly improved. If I can help the ghost bride complete a ghost wedding, this female ghost can still be fierce by 3 points. Killing only one more person left and right is not a troublesome matter. At this moment, the ghost bride, who was originally standing next to the old Taoist, stiffened. What? Sigma, go back. I finally managed to escape, now let me go back. I still want to struggle. It's indeed fierce enough, but before I was wanted, I came from Jian Temple. The next moment, the old Taoist pinched the formula with both hands, and suddenly waves of inexplicable runes continued to imprint on the ghost bride. Jian Temple was originally famous for catching ghosts and eliminating demons. The old Taoist learned about it 7 or 8 times, not to mention that there was a master named Yu in the sect of the old Taoist who created the immortal evil skill of the soul. The old Taoist has inherited the legacy of Master Yu's uncle, but he can't control you, a little fierce ghost. The old Taoist proudly said. The soul never dies. It is rumored that the martial uncle surnamed Yu, who has practiced this evil skill, will not die or be destroyed. Even the underworld has no way to deal with her. This is the true freedom and freedom. Even if one dares to venture into Dragon and Tiger Mountain by fully helping oneself to cultivate evil skills. Little ghost bride, it's ridiculous. Ghost bride, so your master uncle Nyobi has a yarn relationship with you. Is that a place that people can go to? Someone can rub thunder with their hands on that thing. Unable to help but sigh, the ghost bride looked at the old Taoist and felt that she could reason with him well. I think this old guy is also a person who knows how to advance and retreat. Open your mouth. No sound. The ghost bride looked bewildered and opened her mouth again. There was still no sound. What the hell? I love tranquility the most, and I also like stability. I know that some of your ghosts and monsters can use their voices to cast ghost spells. I have sealed your voice. Ghost bride, are you really sick? Follow the old Taoist's wishes and go. Ghost bride. As the old Taoist spoke, the ghost bride found herself uncontrollably following behind the old Taoist and drifting towards the restaurant. No, Mom, don't do it. Damn it. Let go of my mother. Jia, give up struggling. Uncle Yu's ghost control skills are unparalleled in the world. Ghost bride, no, you really have a brain problem. P.S. Seeking tips, monthly tickets, recommended tickets, and comments to create a bubble. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Shocking, is this Thunderbolt? Seeking data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Shocking, is this Thunderbolt? Seeking data. The restaurant is brightly lit, with official hats and chairs on the 8 Immortals table placed in a dignified manner, complemented by some reliefs that exude a retro style. After wiping the table and chairs, Suemo habitually rubbed his wrist. After graduating from college, I saved up some money and spent 5 yuan on the cost of production to buy this storefront. Well, with the support of the deceased parents who contributed 100% of the capital. Although I became a member of the starting orphanage early, my parents were still very awesome. My father is an archaeologist and my mother is a cartoonist. Tianhu, start. In daily life, I am a blonde childhood sweetheart, and another girl who has been secretly in love with me since childhood will transfer to find me. And then the Heavenly Descent series achieved a great victory. In fact, Suemo always felt that his white hair and red pupils were more piercing at him, while his other hair colors and senses were fine. Except for pink. That would make me think of a sick and delicate girl, who is terrifying. Glancing at the job postings on my phone, I realized that I had already recruited a kitchen staff member or something a long time ago. It was supposed to open a few days ago, but a messy girl forced herself to squat in the account for a few days. That scene was almost torn apart by some cemetery owners. One of the notorious college students shouted happily, insisting that he had dug up his grandfather's grave. No matter how he explained it, it wouldn't work. Hey, Sumo sighed, and the reactions of these people felt normal. Who would have known that even if their ancestral tomb was dug up, they would have to fight desperately with them? Wang Shower. This name is quite suitable for being a waiter. When he turned off his mobile phone, Sumo couldn't help complaining about it. Zizi, the lights in the restaurant flickered incessantly again, and at some point the color of the lights also turned pale green, making Sumo's eyes skip a beat. It won't break, will it? Very expensive. Jia, familiar Swona sounds, familiar scenes. A few paper figures carrying sedan chairs slowly drifted into the shop, standing quietly in place. An old Taoist walked slowly in behind. The old Taoist was very satisfied with the appearance of the ghost bride. Think about it, when fighting people in the future. As soon as she appears, the Swona behind the ghost bride sedan chair comes with its own sound effect, and this feeling goes without saying. Whether you win or lose, you have the upper hand in terms of momentum. Once you have the upper hand in terms of momentum, you naturally have a 3-point chance of winning in battles with others. I remember in the Guanji of Jian Temple, it was recorded that the master uncle who created the soul immortal evil technique appeared every time. Paper figures dancing in the sky. Every little paper man is a powerful spirit of resentment. Struggling with fellow cultivators, relying solely on those countless paper figures can scare the other party into fleeing in embarrassment. That's what our cultivators should pursue. Unfortunately, heaven envies talents, and that master uncle's cultivation of evil skills was sealed by his ancestor, and he is still missing to this day. Otherwise, I wouldn't have inherited it myself. But I don't know if it's an illusion. Next time, we need to have the ghost bride reinforce these paper figures, as it feels like their legs have been trembling since the beginning, the old Taoist muttered. If the whole person next door sees it, they think they are enslaving some low-level ghosts. Excuse me, little brother. Do you want your wife or not? The old Taoist squinted his eyes and looked at Sumo. Just an ordinary person. I don't even want to talk to you on weekdays. But who makes themselves in a good mood now? Not only did she have the opportunity to join the whole sex, but she also enslaved a highly potential ghost bride. This luck is asking who else is there. Sooner or later, one day, one's own soul will remain immortal like that of my master uncle. No, get lost. Sumo's face darkened as he became increasingly worried about his own lights. The old Taoist's expression was momentarily stunned, with a slight hint of amazement. Are you not curious who the old Taoist is? Not curious. Are you not curious who this person around me is? Not curious. Old Taoist, my brain is not working. It's the first time I've met someone who doesn't like oil and salt. Anyway, I'll talk to you about it. I came from Jian Temple. Jian Temple. Sumo was taken aback. The old Taoist nodded, his face full of pride. Although I am just an abandoned disciple, Jian Temple still has some reputation in the world of strangers. Is there the Jian with Zhang Xiaofan and Lu Sueki slaying the immortal sword? Old Taoist, alright, anyway you're going to die too, let her tell you. The old Taoist pinched the magic formula and untied the restraint on the ghost bride's mouth. We're all getting married now, so it's time for the groom and bride to say a few words. Of course, the most important thing is that Sumo's reaction is very unsatisfactory. Why not be curious? Why not be afraid? Although I don't have those perverted tendencies that torture people, the other person's performance is far from what I expected. But the old Taoist is not panicking. What kind of people are there in this big world? I can't say they thought they were cosplay pranks on their side. But when he found out that the ghost bride was a ghost, he reacted in shock. It's time for him to embrace true terror. Just the next moment, the old Taoist frowned slightly. What are you doing? Why haven't you started yet? Ghosts and monsters are formed by strong obsession during their lifetime. The obsession of the ghost bride is to get married, so when she meets the person she has chosen, she will kill them on the wedding night. In theory, the ghost bride should be eager to rush forward at this time. Why not take action now? Turning around, I saw a pale face. The red cap had already been lifted to one side, and 2 lines of blood and tears flowed from the pupils on her pale and beautiful face. Her eyes without pupils stared at her intently. Big. Damn it. The old Taoist swore that he was stunned at this moment. Peepa, no need to explain, the sizzling sound of electricity made the old Taoist turn his head in an instant, but his body froze in place. Thunder. The blue thunder bounced back and forth between the palms of the ordinary person I had always thought of, like a pet. Gulu, can I crawl out? The old Taoist instinctively swallowed his saliva as he looked at the blue thunder in Su Mo's hand. Crazy, is this? What do you think? Peepa, outside the restaurant. I said not to bring this shovel when going out. Who knows how long I just explained to the police. Glancing at Feng Bao, Su Sanner looked constipated. I really can't go out with Bauer in the future. Tired, damn it, those ghosts and evil cultivators. At the next moment, Su Sanner seemed to have thought of something and quickly ran towards the front. Feng Bao's speed behind him is also not slow. I just wasted too much time. I hope nothing happens. The 2 of them were extremely fast, but immediately they stopped as if they had stepped on the brakes. Boom boom, thunder comes from 9 days, and darkness comes from coughing and coughing. The terrifying current suddenly exploded, like daylight in an instant. The aftermath even caused Su Sanner and Feng Bao's hairstyles to explode instantly. What is this? Su Sanner opened her mouth wide and her voice was a bit stuttering. A pair of eyes looked at the scene in front of them as if they had seen a ghost. Thunderbolt. P.S. Seeking monthly tickets, seeking recommended tickets, seeking rewards. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. New World, Monsters that Live for Thousands of Years. Seeking Data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 New World, Monsters that Live for Thousands of Years. Seeking Data. Su Mo's face inside the restaurant was very ugly, especially when he saw the puddle at the entrance. Life is precious, fleeting. Just like just now, in the blink of an eye, life is gone. Mourning in silence. I'm lying to you, actually there's no fluctuation at all, but that's not important. Key, the ground is dirty again. Su Mo sighed, finally cleaning the floor. Originally, I just wanted to scare these 2 silly kids, but who knows, these 2 goods are so resistant to thunder. It's really tough. Don't you know how to run? Cough, I can't rule out the possibility of paralysis due to fear. Fortunately, the temperature of the thunderstorm was high enough just now, saving me the trouble of cleaning up the body myself. But it's already burnt to charcoal, so no one should have noticed it by washing away the toilet with a broom or broom. At the next moment, Su Mo, who was cleaning up the traces, paused for a moment and stopped using his broom to clean up the traces. Inside the charred corpse, a stone key lay quietly. How did the high temperature just now have no effect on this key at all? Good thing. Ding, taking in the breath, may I ask if you want to plant a new world? New world. Su Mo was pleasantly surprised in an instant. The golden finger is the foundation of one's existence in this world. Just planting a world, I instantly possess such a powerful lightning spell. If we plant more worlds. Even if gluttony invades, I should be able to easily grasp the other party. Forcefully suppressing his thoughts, Su Mo put away the key. I'm not in a hurry to open up a new world. Every time I plant a new world, I am actually experiencing the life of one of them, which is equivalent to living a new life with another identity. Although it doesn't matter in the short term. But if you continue to live another life as someone else, over time, God knows if you will still become another person. Steady hands. Just as Sumo was cleaning up the traces, the outside world had already exploded. Lei Fa. Isn't this unique to Longhu Mountain? Su San's eyelids twitched wildly. Lei Fa is not common in the cultivation world. Only the legitimate descendants of Dragon and Tiger Mountain can use it, but what do you see now? This power, even in the Dragon and Tiger Mountains, is probably considered extremely accomplished. Su San lit a cigarette, and the trembling fingers holding the cigarette showed that Su San's heart was not calm at the moment. In fact, Su San felt that what he said was still conservative. Even if placed on Dragon and Tiger Mountain, the level of this thunder technique is definitely comparable to that of the older generation of strong players. But I dare not guess this myself. Baby, let's go. Su San turned around, and Feng Baobao held the shovel in his hand with a puzzled expression on his face. The matter here is no longer within our control. Let's have that bastard come and test it out. Su San said with a serious expression. Lei Fa may also exist in other sects, but it is not as grand as Lei Fa from Dragon and Tiger Mountain. No one knows who the expert in this restaurant is. The figure of Sumo also flashed through his mind, but Su San immediately ruled it out. That kid was knocked over by the baby with a shovel a few days ago, let alone at such an old age. Even if he had been practicing lightning techniques since childhood, he couldn't even reach this level. If you break in recklessly, you may end up at odds with Longhu Mountain. This is not good. No more burying. Feng Baobao looked at his shovel, and then turned to look at the restaurant reluctantly. Su San's face turned black instantly. We were just planning to come over and knock each other out and lose their memory, right? When will it be buried? Let's reschedule, there are plenty of opportunities. Oh, Feng Baobao put away his shovel, but his face was full of disappointment. At the same time, a huge stone coffin is displayed here in a huge basement. The stone coffin is covered with various talismans, with colorful runes circulating, mysterious yet seemingly filled with ultimate evil. Golden Light Curse, Red Meteorite, Chaotian Lock, 9 Heavenly Thunder Talisman, Red Dragon Blood TSK 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 TSK. Every time I see this stone coffin, I want to know what's inside. Aren't you afraid that you can't really let this thing out and deal with it? The old man, whose face was almost collapsing, sighed with emotion. Mr. Xia, all of us are willing to do whatever we want. When the sky falls, there are tall people standing up against us, and... The young man didn't look old, he looked harmless to humans and animals, and even had some sunshine. He just looked at the huge stone coffin with a drunken expression on his face. With a slightly crazy expression, even everyone present instinctively took a step back. And over the years, I have also found some information about the identity of the monsters in this sarcophagus. Oh, what is it? The old man's surname Xia asked curiously. The characters in this coffin have some connection with the Blood Lotus sect, and were once regarded as their ancestors by the Blood Lotus sect. Hee, those crazy people from the Blood Lotus sect. Their ancestor must have been a figure from over 1,000 years ago. This ancestor must have died a long time ago. The chubby monk pinched his chin and chuckled. It looks very kind, but if someone sees this person, they might be avoiding snakes and scorpions. Lei Yen Pao Gao Ning, the representative of the Qi in the 4 profound alcoholics, lust, wealth, and Qi of the whole world. Although appearing friendly on the surface, it can silently manipulate extreme emotions of others, such as anger, jealousy, etc., which is very difficult to deal with. This is the most important thing, the characters here are rumored to have received the elixir of immortality and succeeded. What? N at the next moment, both Xia Luqing and Si Zhangquang stared at the stone coffin with wide eyes. Long life. Even the emperors of all dynasties, and even the top powers of the alien world, cannot live forever. Now tell yourself, these people, how can they not be excited because the people here may have already been born? And Gong Qing, as the head of the entire clan, slightly curled up the corners of his mouth. The Luotian festival is about to begin. Don't you want to know who is stronger, the top-notch and millennium-old monster? Suddenly, everyone who had been hesitant before became unresponsive one by one. Do everything according to one's own preferences. In other words, do what interests you. It is precisely because of this that even if it is from various sects or government departments in the alien world, although they are not satisfied with Qiuanqing, they have not fully dealt with it. This is probably similar to a non-mainstream loose organization that likes to cause destruction. They are bad people, but not all of them are bad people. Longevity was already tempting enough, but now we're talking about who is stronger, the founder of the Blood Lotus sect or the top-notch one. This interest naturally became even more intense. After all, that's a top-notch old master. In the entire alien world, the old master dares to say second, and no one dares to say first. Even Ding Daoan, one of the two heroes in the entire universe, once said that although he was only ranked below the old master, but he had no idea how strong the heavenly master was, and he might not even be able to take a single move under the opponent's command. One of the unsolved mysteries of the entire alien world is how strong the heavenly master is. Isn't that old guy from Qinyan Temple bringing the key over? I'll go pick him up. The speaker is a young man wearing glasses. Shen Chong, known as the seedling of misfortune, represents the wealth in the four madness. Not in a hurry, but this old man is quite capable of procrastinating. Wait a minute, people of all natures have patience. There was nothing to say overnight. Su Mo has no understanding of the external situation at all. In fact, Su Mo is currently dealing with major life matters. P.S. Seeking monthly tickets, seeking rewards, seeking recommended tickets, end of this chapter. Chapter 9. You are strange, seeking data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. You are strange, seeking data, approaching noon, Uli restaurant. Su Mo took the name of the restaurant as Uli. After all, this inn is quite famous in all heaven and earth realms. It shouldn't be a big deal for us to gain some popularity and make some money, right? In the office, Su Mo sat on a chair and looked at the young man in front of him. The young man with a black cut, wearing a blue-gray short-sleeved shirt and brown-gray pants should be Wang Xiaoer. Can you accept unpaid overtime? Su Mo lowered his head to look at his phone and then asked seriously. Wang Xiaoer, from the countryside, has a lot of strength. So, do you want black impermanence or white impermanence? Wang Xiaoer looked uneasy. Su Mo, so is it my ear that went wrong, or is Wang Xiaoer not the right person? It's about whether we can do free work. I can do it for nothing. When I was in the village before, I often helped others, but you had to pay more. Su Mo, what you'd better say is doing free work. If the restaurant faces financial difficulties, can you accept a salary reduction? Su Mo covered his face. I always feel like continuing to talk about this topic will explode my mind. Descend whose feng shui. Su Mo, do you have any suggestions for the future development of the restaurant? I think it's better to place that pot of fortune tree in the southeast corner. Su Mo widened his eyes. Good kid, it's what I thought. Since acquiring Shi Jian's knowledge of feng shui, one can naturally discover many problems in this restaurant, but, are you just applying like this? Although the application process was quite complicated, the result was good. Wang Xiaoer has been admitted. Mainly, right, boss, I just came from the countryside and applied to many companies within a minute. You are the first person to seriously ask me questions. Boss, you're a strange person, this is what Wang Xiaoer said to himself at the end of the job application. Especially when paired with that damn, unpolluted and simple gaze. At that time, my mind was hot and I immediately made a decision. Admitted. Sometimes I really hate my damn sense of social responsibility. Of course, besides that, I always feel that Wang Xiaoer looks a bit familiar, but I can't remember where I've seen him before. I always feel like this product will be a hassle. However, by the way, I am already in enough trouble now. Not to mention anything else, Morgana, that old maid with messy makeup, knows when she will descend on the blue star. Although I quite like the character after she turns into Ling Bing in the anime. But in the real world, that's not the case. The first thing that the goods do is to transform a part of the blue star people into demons. Although it can instantly acquire the power of a first or even second generation super warrior, too ugly. How did you say something? Being strong or not is a matter of one version, but being handsome or not is a matter of a lifetime. Why are ghosts willing to be demons? Human beings, never be slaves. Unless it's upside down with the demon queen. Cough. Su Mo felt like he needed to find time to repent on the computer's G drive and purify his evil thoughts. And with the arrival of Morgana, Blue Star also completely began its rampage mode. Carl, the god of death, who likes to fart, will come out to bewitch some silly criticism. Devils, gluttons, angels, scorching sun, and Styx, all of these mentally flawed creatures will emerge one by one. This is the biggest trouble. Faced with this group of mythical creatures, strange people and the like can completely stand aside. This is not that Su Mo is somewhat worried. In Su Mo's view, the strength of an outsider is indeed mysterious and unpredictable, but even so, there is a prerequisite. Strangers still dare not be reckless in this country. But those extraterrestrial civilizations directly invaded the entire blue star. It is self-evident which one is strong or weak. This is just a result of keeping the original trajectory unchanged. In this damn world, who knows what wonderful chemical changes will happen. Wang Xiaoer may be in trouble, but, is it possible to let Gaia and Alei directly confront themselves? Or directly offend monsters like the awakened alien gods? Pull the calf. Boss has your package. Wang Xiaoer's voice rang outside the office, and Su Mo was slightly taken aback. I don't think I bought any express delivery. Then he turned around and walked towards the door. There are scattered guests in the restaurant, and packages about 1 meter high are placed at the entrance of ULI restaurant. Wang Xiaoer stood awkwardly next to the package. It was sent to you by Mr. Su Muyu, it's indeed from here. The courier looked at the recipient with some confusion. Su Mo was slightly taken aback. Are you Mr. Su Mo? The delivery guy asked again. That's right, it's me. Su Mo signed for it in a daze. Su Muyu. This name is really a bit old, so old that I even miss it a bit. This is my father's name. But the key is, my father and mother went on a honeymoon together in the country a long time ago due to their disdain for being a hindrance, but after 5 or 6 years, there has been no news. A few days ago, Su Mo always felt that this was not a big deal, after all, they had not heard from each other for so many years. I also lack some blessings from my ancestors below. So let's collect their clothes and make a tomb for their attire and a cemetery. Ahem, half a month ago when I was worshipping and sweeping graves, I begged them to bless me more below. What is the current situation? Graduated from Jian orphanage. End the ball. Immediately, Su Mo's face changed drastically. If my parents are all fine, will they come back and see their own graves? Boss. Wang Xiaoer's voice slightly snapped Su Mo's mind, and he didn't even notice when the express box was moved back to the office. Waiter, what would happen if my parents came back and found out that I had erected a grave for them? Wang Xiaoer, are city people playing so big now? Did people build graves while they were still alive? Probably. I'll stuff you back and give you a new one. Su Mo don't want to continue arguing with Wang Xiao. Su Mo is ready to open the package. I don't know what things my parents will send me if I don't contact them for the past 4 or 5 years. Boss, why not? I'll take care of it. Wang Xiao grabbed Su Mo's hand and said with a slightly restrained expression. Su Mo smiled slightly and broke free from Wang Xiao. This cardboard box is really weird. Not to mention whether my parents are still alive or not. Even if they are still alive, how can they know about the restaurant they just owned? Moreover, from the beginning, I also felt that this cardboard box gave me a strange feeling. But who are you? Waiter, just open a box. It's nothing. But I haven't seen any scenes before. Tear it apart. The cardboard box opened, and a delicate and flawless face appeared in front of me. Light yellow short hair, red cat pupils scrutinizing Su Mo, pure white as if without any pollution. A girl of about 16 or 17 years old slowly stood up, slightly taller than a cardboard box, just revealing her upper body. Are you what Uncle Su said about Su Mo? The girl spoke with a hint of ethereal in her voice. Su Mo looked at the expressionless girl and extended his hand, which fell on her head in the next second. The girl's face instantly turned crimson. The delicate face continuously lowers with the force of the palm. Su Mo changed hands and covered the cardboard box again. Waiter, call the delivery guy back. I refuse this express delivery. Nima, this is Erkut Brenstadt. P.S. Seeking monthly tickets, seeking recommended tickets, seeking rewards. End of this chapter. Chapter 10, Bold Su, you really have your hands on selling your son. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10, Old Su, you really have your hands on selling your son. Boss, be careful, she's not human. Wang Xiao seemed to have some hindsight and stood in front of Su Mo. Get out of the way, it's okay. Su Mo reluctantly pushed aside Wang Xiao. If someone asks what is the most dangerous thing in this world? The invasion of gluttony. Or will Mr. Huaya come to Blue Star to cause trouble in the end? Or is it that death god Karl always wants to lead the universe into the era of the void? In fact, even the arrival of an angel is a very dangerous thing. Angels follow the order of justice. This means that if angels feel that eliminating all the population of a city on Blue Star can save more people, they will not hesitate to choose to eliminate the population of that city. Su Mo strongly agrees with this theory. Well, as long as you and the people you care about are not among this minority population. Fortunately, Blue Star is not currently a planet under the angel justice order. So if they want to enforce a just order, they will inquire about the attitude of the people in charge of this planet. But compared to the planet under my feet, it's all bullshit. Is the technology of creating gods in extraterrestrial civilizations very strong? The first emperor in a certain paranormal zone directly ruled the entire Milky Way galaxy. At least he could fight a 5 or 5 split, right? On the Chaldean side, it directly crosses parallel worlds. Other sentient beings such as those who transcend the universe, bodhisattvas who govern the stars, and wandering stars who prey on civilizations. I never worried about the planet before because the impact of what happened on this planet was relatively small. The sky fell and there were tall people standing against it. After all, what kind of burning human logic, the land of steel, the strange smell belt is too far away from oneself, and there are dedicated people to handle it. But now, Erkut Brenstadt is here. She is also one of the monsters in the worldview of Xinhua. One of the innate blood-sucking species known as the true ancestor, and also a member of the royal family, known as the princess of true ancestor. It existed 800 or 900 years ago as a means of executing other true ancestors who made mistakes. Hundreds of years ago, a human named Ro attempted and consumed human blood. Under the impulse of bloodsucking, he killed all the true ancestors, so he hated Loya for constantly pursuing them. Immortal and possessing two special abilities. One of the magic eyes is the enchanting eye, but it is not frequently used. The second is the ability to materialize fantasies into reality. Simply put, if one day you want Rem's wife, you can directly use your imagination to create one. This outrageous ability generally has an upper limit. And the upper limit of Urkit is to summon a moon with all his might. Moon. What happens when a moon falls? Instantly destroy all life on the blue star, and the entire blue star will be damaged by more than 90%. In short, the girl in front of me with blonde cat pupils looks no different from a high school student. Can destroy the world. In Sumo's view, even the So called King of Gods, Kaisha, or the scorching sun known for its destructive power. If you don't use technological weapons to fight against the girl in front of you, you'll have to hang a hammer. Are there guys in this kind of novel who are enough to be the ultimate boss coming out now? Any trouble she causes is probably a big problem for herself. For example, her archenemy Heiji was also her sister Eltrudge, who once took away by Ji's long hair. This kind of seizure was not physical, but rather a conceptual deprivation. Take a look, Dote is so outrageous. Artaluki herself looks like a noblewoman, but she has several contractors, including a big white dog named a primate killer. It's the great white dog named Fufu in Chaldea. It looks cute, but as one of the beasts, it has the ability to clean the surface of humans under full force. Her archenemy, Shiroa. The strength is unknown, but the snake known as Akasha seems to be able to undergo infinite reincarnation. They are all tough guys to deal with. Staying with Baiji means getting involved in this huge trouble. Dama Alket forcefully popped his head out of the cardboard box, somewhat like a cat stuck in a box with its head exposed. It makes people feel an irresistible urge to give it a try. Control the hand that wants to pass away. Are you Uncle Su's son? Elquist looked at Su Mo with big eyes open. Su Mo bully, old Su. After traveling abroad for 5 or 6 years without any news, I almost forgot about having a son. Do true ancestors have to call you uncle? No, my surname is Mo. Su Mo said calmly, with a face that was not red or panting. Ah, ha. Baiji's face showed confusion, and her clear big eyes were full of confusion. Boss, isn't your name Su Mo? Su Mo glanced at Wang Shower, who scratched his head with some confusion. Sometimes being too honest is not a good thing. No one will mute you if you don't speak. That's right, Uncle Su said he'll give you to Millennium City. Baiji struggled to drill out of the cardboard box, her red pupils filled with joy. Su Mo Wang Shower what? So my dad went to Millennium City 5 years ago. So he said he has a smart and capable son who is also very talented. Aha. So when you woke up, you packed yourself up and sent it by express delivery. The main reason is that the management of mysterious outsiders entering the country is relatively strict here. Baiji's slender fingers tapped her chin, and her face was filled with helplessness. Su Mafu's forehead when saying these words, Su Mo did not avoid Wang Shower beside him. When we first met, we realized that this kid was not just a simple person, but rather a mysterious figure. I probably understand the winding paths inside here. About a few years ago, it was when Lao Su went abroad for his honeymoon. One time, I happened to pass by Millennium City, and then on the way, I stumbled upon Princess Urkit, who had just woken up in Millennium City, and made her limp. Old Su really has you. The bad news is that I may have entered an orphanage again. The good news is that I don't have to dig up Lao Su's grave in the middle of the night myself. As for being redundant, get a chicken in here. But if Su Mo gets involved, you can help me kill Loya together. When it came to Loya, a strong murderous aura appeared on Baiji's once innocent and innocent face. For Baiji, Loya is the only unforgivable person. As a killing machine created by the true ancestor and the will of the planet, Elkett spends most of his time sleeping. The understanding of common sense is approximately equal to 0. Although it is possible to directly connect with the will of the planet to learn these things, for by G, everything except killing is useless and unnecessary to learn. Roya was the first person to deceive Elkett and turn into a vampire by leveraging his power. It's like a pure white and flawless piece of paper, stained with stains. Well, in that case, Lao Su should be considered the second. Thanks to Lao Suga, otherwise if Bai Ji found out, she would have to bombard and kill again. Wait. At the next moment, Su Mo's expression slightly froze. So, old Su is gone, if Elkett knows the truth. My own father is gone but I'm still here. Su Mo looked at Elkett. Innocent and innocent, with a pair of large wine-red eyes that seemed to speak, it seemed harmless to humans and animals. Such a lovely girl. She shouldn't have taken action against herself just because of such a small matter. By the way, due to some reasons, I am unable to obtain Roya's position. Uncle Su said that you know Roya's position and there is a way to eliminate him. Can you tell me? In the next moment, Elkett had his hands behind his back, his body slightly leaning forward, and his wine-red cat pupils staring at Sumo. I have to say, it's cute and adorable. But at this moment, the alarm bell in Sumo's body suddenly soared to its limit. Roya! Shouldn't you be able to locate that unlucky thing directly from the will of the planet? What should I know? Inexplicably, Su Mo suddenly felt a little flustered. P.S. Pursue reading. Pursue reading, end of this chapter.